friends! Hello, hi, how are you guys? I'm doing so good. I'm actually not. I tried to film this video the other night and I hurt my neck really bad and it still hurts really bad. So if I ever like move and wince in this video, you know why. It's because I hurt my neck. I don't feel super great either. I'm very congested because the seasons are changing. So if I'm talking weird, I apologize. But this is the best we have right now. So we're just gonna go with it. Okay, so this video, I'm just gonna break it down for you guys. This video was initially supposed to be about, I had this set up and planned to be about the Shane Dawson, Jake Paul series. Because I thought the 5th episode was going to be coming out Friday. And so I was like, okay, I'll talk about that and put that up and everything. But then Shane Dawson decided to not post his new video, which is like, whatever. I was like, okay, I can't make that video because I didn't want to make it preemptively. Like I want to make a video on that and then only have to make one because I don't really want to dedicate too much time to Jake Paul. So then I was like thinking about video ideas for today. And it was pretty easy actually because something has been super bothering me this week about the beauty community. Not like super, it doesn't like, I feel like I'm dramatic and I say things like that and then people comment and they're like, you're so lame letting it affect your life. It doesn't like keep me up at night. It's just something I've been thinking about. If you would like to know my thoughts on the first 2 parts of the Shane Dawson series, you can go and check out, I was on the Half Cousins podcast, which is Georgia Harris and Spooky Lips and Fat Hips podcast. And I did kind of talk about it. We talked about that briefly, but it also turned into a conversation, which is relevant today, about kind of like YouTubers and like burnouts and like why we have YouTube channels and why it can be hard to have a YouTube channel, like both sides of the coin. And what I thought was interesting and a takeaway from that conversation, which I'll link it down below, you guys can watch it. What I thought was really interesting was that we all had very different reasons for why we loved YouTube and why we loved creating content, but we all had pretty much the same reason behind not liking it sometimes. And that was negative comments. And I'm not talking about, and I don't think they were either, talking about comments that are like, oh, I disagree with you about this, because those comments, it's completely within your right to feel that way. Respectfully saying those comments like makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? Like that's totally fine. I think where YouTubers get really mad and sometimes what can contribute to the YouTube burnout rate, if you will, is when people leave really, really negative, nasty comments. And I guess I'll do a little self-reflection on this because I do think being a small creator, I can have something to say about this, and I'm very small. Like this doesn't, it's whatever. But I think being a somewhat small creator, I can have some of an opinion on this. And the things that I see from my end is like, I get nervous posting a video because I know that like 2,000 people are gonna watch it. You know what I mean? So I try to picture that on the scale of people like Tati, people at the top who are getting millions of views a video. And that's terrifying. Like, that's a really scary thought because something I've noticed in the past few months, because I have grown a lot in the past few months, and something I've noticed that comes along with that is really negative comments, because it makes sense. I mean, you're being exposed to more people, you're gonna have more opinions, and not everybody expresses their opinions in a nice way. And I'm not telling everyone they have to like be the kindest person in the world. I get being heated. I get leaving a comment because you're heated. Like, I understand. What I don't understand is what happened to Tati this week, because what I saw happening was just the weirdest. I've never seen somebody react like that to a makeup review. Tati reviewed the Emily Edit palette, or it was the Emily Wants, I think. And she also reviewed the entire brand of Makeup Revolution. She didn't really like the foundation either that she tried. It had nothing to do, I felt, with Emily. I will say, I love the palette. I have a review of that palette up on my channel. I really, really, really like it. I don't see a problem with it. Did I think some of the techniques she used were a little strange, like applying a matte shade with her finger over her lid? Like, did I think that was kind of a weird application? Yes. Did I think she was doing it on purpose to sabotage? No. Different people have different ways of doing her makeup. There's no correct way to do your makeup. How I'm doing my makeup right now, I'm sure people are cringing because I'm doing triangles under my eyes and you're supposed to do dots now because that's the thing to do. Like, whatever. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The cool thing about makeup and the fun thing about makeup, what makes it so fun is that there's a million different ways to do it. Tati didn't like the palette. I don't really have an opinion on if she was doing it on purpose because she doesn't like the brand, because I don't necessarily think that that matters. Like, people have biases. Even beauty influencers, even people, like, nobody is completely unbiased. If she didn't like the brand, do I think maybe she just shouldn't have done a review? Yeah. But was it like a hot ticket item that a lot of people have been talking about that she felt the need to review? Sure, she's a freaking review channel. More to the point, so after Tati posted this review, the comment section really blew up. People were mad about the thumbnail. I didn't feel like the thumbnail was bad because she wasn't lying. I hate when people clickbait thumbnails where they are like, hate it, when they actually like it. Like, I hate that type of thing, because then the person who just looks at the thumbnail, but like, she did a bad thumbnail because she didn't like the palette. You know what I mean? I understood the thumbnail. People were pissed about it, whatever. A YouTuber named Kiki Chanel, who I actually really like. I've liked for a long time. I've been following her channel probably over a year now. A lot of people were really upset and confused about the title of her video, which was like emergency review. And they said she was like being dramatic. That is like a thing she does on her channel. That's not something she did just for Tati. Like, we're like, oh, this girl's crazy. It's not that deep. And like, she knows. She just does it because it's like a thing on her channel. She does these like emergency reviews whenever she feels like a palette. Normally it's when she feels like a palette is so bad and people are hyping it up, and she wants to tell people, like she did one for the Tartelette Toasted, because she was like, I need to tell people how bad this is. I don't want people to have like buy this. She did an emergency review in response to Tati's video. When I first watched the video, I didn't consider it to be too bad. Since like thinking about it, I do see where that was not the correct thing to do. Not even not correct. I think because the coolest part about the video she made that I actually enjoyed was that she recreated Tati's look using the same colors, same shades, but made it work. And she showed you how you could make it work. And I thought if that had alone been the only part of the video that she had done, where she was like, I didn't agree with some of the techniques she used, here are some different techniques you can use to get the palette to work the way you want it to, I think that would have been fine, because disagreeing about technique is a totally valid thing to do and reasonable. But I think and she didn't even really attack her, but she did attack her credibility. And when you're a review channel like Tati is, like, you shouldn't, I don't know, I don't really see Tati. I know people have feelings about Tati, and I get the feelings. I get that people have feelings about Tati. I really do. And I have some feelings about some of the stuff she's done as well. But one thing I will say about Tati is I do feel like she is a credible reviewer. Do I agree with every review she gives? No, but we all have different faces. We all have different techniques. We all do different things with makeup. What works for me might not work for her. With that being said, overall, I think Tati's pretty credible. She does 5 videos a week, most of them being reviews, and she's not bought, she's not paid. I think she's a pretty credible person. Does the Halo Beauty thing with the vitamins sketch me out a little bit? Yes. Does that mean she's not credible in all of her other makeup reviews? No. You can like someone, like their reviews, and also have a problem with something they do. This is the whole thing I'm trying to make. You can like, I've said it in so many videos and I'm gonna say it again, you can like someone and disagree with what they do, but it's how you disagree that matters. Flashback to Tati. So Kiki Chanel posted this review, and I saw her review go everywhere. She's like 100,000, I think, 150,000 subscribers. And I saw this review blowing up. And that's when I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, if I made a review and somebody I started trying to see it from both perspectives. From Kylie's perspective, who is Kiki Chanel, I can understand the wanting to like defend a palette that you love, because it's like, okay, this is how I use it and this is how I make it work. But to do that by throwing another YouTuber under the bus is something I disagreed with. And from Tati's perspective, I think and this is where it gets controversial. And this is where I talk about kind of how influencers really have a hard time winning nowadays. Because if you give a positive review of an influencer collab, like if I've seen this too, this isn't just like fake, like this is real. If you give a positive review of an influencer collab, you're a bigger YouTuber, you're kissing up to the influencer, you're just lying because they're your friend. And if you give a negative review, people are pissed at you because how dare you give someone who we like a negative review. It's really troubling, and in a way, and I never say it, you guys know I'm like the first person to not feel bad for beauty gurus. Like I will call out anything when I see it, but like these people can't win anymore. It's like impossible for them to win, because it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, especially with like influencer collabs when there's a big audience behind it. And now I want to talk about something that's going to get me in a lot of shit with a lot of people. and I don't care. Because I'm seeing it and I'm upset about it, and I'm actually really like, and I'm gonna say it in a respectful way because that's what you do when you're upset about something and you disagree with something. I strongly disagree with the way Emily Noel reacted to the situation. When people are commenting, because people were commenting on Tati's video, nasty, vile stuff, like really negative, really hateful and mean, and talking about her infertility and her age and calling her all these names and being terrible to her. And I had a problem with that. I took real issue with that. And even people who were leaving like nicer comments, they still were pretty like vicious. Like it was like calling out her credibility, questioning her as a reviewer, questioning her as a person, her, you know what I mean? And like, that's not okay. It's an eyeshadow palette. I'm the first person to be like, makeup is that deep. Like, makeup is $1 billion industry. We do need to take it seriously sometimes. This is a situation where it's just makeup. It's an eyeshadow palette. Think like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna get on that in a minute. Emily Noel made a video, and I can see from her perspective wanting to maybe not draw as much attention to the situation because she didn't want more people to possibly go and attack Tati. But then she did some kind of shady stuff. And this is it's, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody handles a situation perfectly. Emily Noel is not a person who I know of has been in a lot of drama and controversy. So it could possibly be that she just didn't know how to handle the situation properly. Which, like, if you've never been in a situation like this, how do you know how to handle it? You know what I mean? Like, I get that. But at the same time, she basically made a video. She did, like, a palette bingo with her palette. And she made this whole video. And in the video, she was like, you know, I know that you guys aren't hateful. Basically saying her core audience isn't really hateful, doesn't believe in bullying, but, like, don't feel the need to defend my palette if somebody else doesn't like it. Like, they're entitled to their opinion. I kind of wish it had been a bit stronger of a response. That's not really the thing I took issue with, though. Do I wish it had been a little bit of a stronger response to the situation? Yes. When people who are very, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, the people in Emily's comments are not the same people commenting on Tati's video. And that could be the case, too. Defending her so much, at a certain point, they've obviously watched Emily's videos and are probably going to watch the video where she, like, publicized that she was going to be talking about this. I feel like that was a moment to be a little bit more stern about the expectation she had from her audience. If I was in that position, I can only think about what I would do in that position. And if I saw any of my people that I knew in my comments commenting vicious things on another person's video, because they were trying to, like, defend me, but in a very vicious way, I know I would say more than just like, oh, let's just, like, spread love. I know that's kind of her whole thing, and I get it. Like, I like Emily Noel. I just felt like that was not a strong enough stance on the situation. There needed to be more when you have a fellow creator who is also, like, a colleague at this point. When you have someone like that getting very, very violently attacked over a palette review she did for you, and there are people defending her in your name. That being said, her video is her video, and she can say what she wants. It's what I would have done differently. What I took real issue with was that she said all of that. She said, don't feel the need to defend my palette. Like, let it be, spread love, whatever. And again, it sucks because I like all three of the influencers that are involved in this situation. I like Tati, I like Kylie from Kiki Chanel, and I like Emily. I like all of them. But she commented on Kiki Chanel or Kylie's video. I'm just going to call her Kylie. I hate calling her Kiki Chanel. She commented on Kylie's video, giving this whole, like, praising her dedication, her love for the palette, praising the fact that she stood up for the palette, she made it look beautiful, like, praising her for this. And those are two really different messages that you're sending out, because no matter what way you spin it, Kylie's video, it was aggressive, like, no matter what way you spin it. And, like, she's funny and she definitely has her own sense of humor, but that video was very much targeted at Tati, saying you did this wrong. She questioned her credibility a lot. She questioned her makeup skills a lot. She was really upset about it. And for Emily, I understand wanting to, like, thank someone for going to bat for you. Because to be quite honest, and this is where it gets dicey, because to be quite honest, if I were Emily too, it's so hard because there's so many sides to the situation. I feel like I sound crazy. But if I were Emily too, of course I would see that Tati did a negative review and be mildly upset about that. Like, obviously you're a human being and your feelings are hurt that somebody who is a colleague didn't like something that you created and then put that out to the millions of subscribers that she has a very strong influence over. Of course, that would make me mad too. It's how you handle things publicly that matter though. So if she wanted to thank Kylie for making that video, it would have been very easy to find her on Twitter and send her a DM thanking her for that and just saying, I don't want to make a big public thing about this, but I appreciate you showing people the proper way to use the, like the way that I would use the palette. You know what I mean? Like something like that, I feel would have been more appropriate than publicly posting on Kylie's video and praising her for making a review that was centered around attacking is the wrong word because I don't feel like it was an attack, but praising a review that was centered around discrediting what Tati had said. I didn't feel like that was an okay thing to do. It really showed me a different side to Emily because you're saying one thing in your video about don't defend me, spread love, don't be hateful, all of that, and then you go and comment on this video that was doing directly what you said not to do. You're sending two different messages to your audience. Because this comment that she posted got reposted all over the place. Like a lot of people saw it. That's how I saw it. I didn't like read the comment section. It's the reposts that happened, honestly. And again, Emily's never been involved in any drama, so maybe she didn't realize what she was doing. Maybe she just wanted to like, I don't know. I don't know. The biggest issue I take with this situation, all parties involved, I think maybe could have handled situations better. I think Tati could have, if she really hated the palette, and this is where it sucks, but if she really hated the palette, like, maybe this is where it really sucks. I hate saying this because I hate saying, like, maybe don't review it. But at the same time, don't take another influencer's bag. Like, if you don't like something, it's okay to say it, but at the same time, if it was somebody who I was a colleague with, I wouldn't trash it. There's a reason influencers typically don't cover other influencers' palettes and stuff, and it's because you don't want to take somebody else's achievement away from them. You know what I mean? With that being said, I think out of all of the parties involved, Tati is the biggest victim in this situation. Kiki Chanel should have made the video not as hateful towards Tati. If she wanted to make a video like that, focus on the technique, focus on the makeup, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Tati's character, we're talking about the makeup. Emily Noel should have handled the entire situation differently, in my opinion, but most importantly, should not have commented publicly on her video, praising her for the video that she had made when it was clearly an attack against Tati. With that being said, the biggest issue I have with this, and this is the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about, I'm using this like huge, big old palette from Morphe. I anti-hauled it because I was like, I'll never use this because I have colors like this. And then I bought it anyway, and I never use it because I have colors like this. So listen to yourself when you anti-haul things. Moral of the story. The biggest problem I have in all this, and kind of the main focus of the video, which I know I've been talking for 25 minutes, and then we're just now getting to the main focus, but I am not perfect. The biggest problem I have with all of this was the people, and this sucks because what I'm about to rant about, those people aren't watching this video, and the people that are watching it are the people that don't need to hear this, and that's the sucky part. And the people who maybe do need to hear this and do need to understand this, even if they are listening, they won't agree with me on this. And that's the sucky part, is that like no matter how much you preach against cyberbullying and cyber attacks, nobody who actually does it listens. I'm going to do it anyway, knowing that, but I'm just frustrated and I need to talk about it. It is so sad to me that we have so normalized internet attacks and internet bullying and whatever. Cannot stress enough. I'm not talking about people who leave constructive criticism. I'm not talking about people who even disagree with my opinion. I'm talking about people who leave troll-like, mean, negative comments for no reason other than to spread hate. Those are the people I'm talking about. If you leave a comment disagreeing with me, I'm not talking about you. I just can't make that clear enough.
I also just want to mention that I've seen a real problem with beauty gurus and influencers and YouTube people in general not understanding what it means to disagree with someone and taking that as hate. And I want to say, like, that's a huge problem too. The way influencers handle constructive criticism and take it as hate is a huge problem, and do this like fan culture thing where you can only agree with them and only be positive, or you hate them and you're hating on them. I think that's wrong too. But we're talking about it from the other side today. But I wanted to make it clear, I also think the way some influencers handled constructive criticism and disagreements is terrible. So that's that.
Because I don't think there's a problem with that. I don't think disagreeing with somebody or questioning somebody even and being like, why do you feel this way? Like, why did you say that? I don't think there's a problem with doing that. I think that's an important part of YouTube, is like, we as a community are self-patrolling this space. You know what I mean? Like, we patrol what happens. I don't think there's a problem with that. And I actually like that aspect of YouTube, even though it can be frustrating as a creator sometimes. I like that aspect that people can challenge me, and I enjoy that part of it. What I have a problem with, and what I hate that we have normalized as part of the job, is the fact that like people just leave horrible, nasty, mean, terrible comments on people's videos. And it's part of the job, you know what I mean? Like, it's what you sign up for. I disagree. I think what we sign up for as creators is, and this is truly what I believe. I truly believe that when you sign up to being a creator and you sign up to putting your opinion out on the internet, you are signing up to be criticized about your opinion. You are signing up to be criticized. You're signing up to be disagreed with. You are signing up to have people question you. That's something you sign up for when you sign up to be a YouTube creator. What I don't think you sign up for is people telling you how fat you are, people calling you a pig, people calling you disgusting, people calling you a racist, people, unless you do racist things, like that's different, but people calling you, you know, all these different things, ugly, disgusting, horrible, commenting on every part of your body and your face. And I see this so much with beauty influencers, and that's kind of why I'm talking about that. I'm sure in different communities there's different attacks, but commenting so much on other people's appearance and their eyebrows, the way they do their eyeshadow, the way they do their foundation, the way they do this, the way they do that. That's not what we signed up for. I'm sorry. I know nobody like says this anymore because it's like, oh, it is what you signed up for. That's not what we signed up for. We signed up for people to maybe disagree with us about things. We signed up for people to question us about things. We didn't sign up for people. This is a direct quote from somebody who commented on Tati's, that it was the reason she was having cramps, because she has some condition that causes her infertility issues, and she's been very open about that, is karma, because she gave the Emily Edit palette like a bad review. Like, that's karma. She's infertile because she gave a palette a bad review. That's disgusting. Nobody signs up for that. No, that's not acceptable. That shouldn't be acceptable. It shouldn't be as socially acceptable as it is on the internet. And I am having such a problem with it. Not even because I get super hateful comments, because I've said it before, my comment section is relatively tame. Like, it's pretty chill. You guys are relatively respectful. Do I get trolls saying nasty stuff? Of course I do. Of course, everybody gets trolls saying nasty stuff. And do they make this, what I do, harder? And do they make it not as fun? And do they suck the life out of it? Yeah, they do. This isn't even my job. This is a hobby. This is what I do for fun. And that's what it is for a lot of people, especially small creators. This is what we do for fun. This isn't like a career for 99% of YouTubers. It's for fun. You know what I mean? I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up to make my hobby be more stressful than my real life. Like, that's not what I signed up for. I'm sorry. I know people are going to be like, oh, you're just being like a sensitive little snowflake and you just want everyone to be nice. No, I just want humans to respect other human beings. I don't know why that's so difficult to comprehend on the internet. I don't know why people are like, oh, it's just what you need to expect. Sure, it's what I need to expect because it's what's happening, but it's only happening because we as a society have allowed it to continue and allowed it to happen and say things like, oh, it's what you signed up for. I got real heated just now. I need to chill, but it's been frustrating. And I'm seeing it happen to people like Tati, who this is their real job. And I think the reason I feel so empathetic towards that is because I can imagine what that's like, because I get it on a much smaller scale, and it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. The comments about stuff like that are just so unnecessary. If you don't have something intelligent to contribute to the conversation, I'm not saying you have to be all positive. I can't stress this enough because I feel like people are going to really think I'm just trying to be like, oh, all influencers never deserve criticism and like we should just be nice to everyone. No, if you don't like something somebody's saying, call them out on it. Don't just say, oh, you're fat and stupid. Like, say, oh, I actually disagreed with you on this point and here's why. It's so easy to do. It's not difficult to do. I had a girl comment on here, and this may be a bad example because this wasn't even that mean. It was just annoying. Where a girl commented and she was like, this kind of editing is literally the most annoying. Now, that's not that mean in the grand scheme of like YouTube. Like, that's not that mean of a comment. Like, is it constructive? No. Is it rude? Yeah, but like, it's not that mean. For some reason, it drove me crazy, and I commented back and I was like, I basically just was like, then don't watch it. Like, don't watch it. Don't watch the video. If you don't like the editing, click off. And then I was shocked because normally, and I was glad actually she did this, because at least it meant that she had a reason for doing what she was doing, I guess. But she commented back and she was like, this video showed up in my recommended. How was I supposed to know the editing was like this? Okay, let me give you a tip. You girl who made that comment, and to all the other people who do this, let me give you like a little tip right here. It is so much easier, and this is a message to everybody. Everybody who left a hate comment on Tati's video, all of that stuff, especially about an eyeshadow palette. It's just so much easier to not watch it. It's so much easier to just click off a video. If you didn't like Tati's review, and it angered you to the point of leaving a nasty, mean, unnecessary comment that was not constructive, not helpful in any way, it's so much easier to just click off the video. It really is. I know that's like seems so crazy and simple in today's world where we've just normalized and accepted mean comments. It's so much easier to just click off the video. No person should be getting that amount of hate and that amount of abuse for an eyeshadow palette review. And that's what I keep stressing. I think that's the reason it's making me so mad. When people post things, my truth videos, I understood people being pissed off about that. Like, I understood people not leaving mean comments, because you shouldn't leave mean comments, but I understood people leaving heated comments explaining why they were angry. I understood people leaving like negative comments about like why they thought this person was handling the situation wrong. I understood those comments. I do not understand how people could leave such vile, horrible comments on somebody's page because they didn't like an eyeshadow palette. There are situations in life where it's really good and really positive to stand up and speak your mind and disagree and fight for that. There have been a lot of instances of that on YouTube even the past year. There's been so many instances of like situations where it is a good idea and it is the time and it is right to stand up and say, no, I will not stand for what you are doing. To stand up and say, this is wrong. Maybe it's something like we've had like racism scandals, standing up and saying, I will not support somebody who is racist. I will not support somebody who said racist things. Talking about like John Cookians of the world. I will not support somebody who has scammed people, who has lied, who has spread false allegations about another person. Standing up and saying those things, I don't think there's any, and this again, it's personal opinion. Some people probably think that's horrible and you should just always stay quiet. I am not one of those people. I think there are times when it's 100% acceptable to be heated and to stand up for things. Still be respectful, always use intelligent arguments, but there are times to do that. This was not one of those times. An eyeshadow palette review is not one of those times. Save your angry energy for a time when it truly matters. It's just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And the problem is, oh, I got that in my eye. That hurts so bad. Oh, that hurts so bad. Do you ever get eyeshadow in your eye and you're just like, the problem is, especially, normally when I do these videos, I have some sort of, not even a solution, but I have some sort of ending. And there's no ending to this because it's never going to stop. Trolls are never going to stop. They are a part of the job and it's annoying. I just wanted to vent about the fact that like, it shouldn't be, I guess. Like, one of the big reasons that YouTube is so fun and awesome and cool, you get to talk to people, you get to hang out with people, you get to experience opinions you never thought of, you get to see things from other sides, you get to see people, meet people from all over the world, and some of them live different lives than you, and some of them live very similar lives, and some of them live lives you couldn't even conceive. And that's the cool part about YouTube, is it brings people together and shows people different aspects of life, different things that people do. It's real people doing real things that are different from your life, or even the same, but it's real people doing real things. I'm a real person sitting here doing my makeup right now. I am real. I am a human being. I'm sitting here. Why do we allow people, and again, I don't have a solution, and that's what sucks. I'm angry about the problem, and I have not yet been able to think of a solution. And if I can one day, I'll share it with you guys. But as of right now, I have no solution to this problem. But why are we letting these trolls in and accepting them and playing it off as like, oh, it's part of the job? Why are we letting them come in and ruin the creators that are like the best part of YouTube? Like, the best part of YouTube is that you have real people. And you want to know what makes YouTube not fun for us real people? People who come in and comment really disgusting, negative, horrible things. Those people make it not fun. People always say when YouTubers burn out or they post those videos where it's like they've had enough and they need a break, they're like, oh, it's just YouTube. Like, just turning on a camera. You're just turning on a camera and like filming yourself. It's not that hard. And you're right. It's not that hard to film. The hard part is being a presence online. That's the hardest part about this whole thing. And I've realized that as I've gotten a little bit bigger. And don't get me wrong. This is such a negative video and I want to end it on somewhat of a positive note. But I love what I do here on YouTube. I love it. I love every second, not every second, but I love posting. I love creating content. I love talking about makeup. I love talking about current events and drama. And I love all of that stuff a lot. I really, truly love it. And I know that most other creators, at least the ones I know, also love it so much. You wouldn't do it if you didn't love it. It takes time. Most of it, honestly, the hardest part about YouTube is it's just so time consuming. We love it. I love my subscribers. I love talking to you guys about things. I love when you guys show me different opinions. I love when you guys share my opinion. Like, I love that. But I don't love the way that we have morphed this community into something where it's acceptable to do things like that to other people and acceptable to tear people like Tati down for having a differing opinion. I don't love that. And that's where I'm going to end this. If you guys have any like things you think about this, I know this is such a weird one because I can't be like, oh, give me your thoughts, really, because it's like we hate people who are mean. Like, that's just, it's not a hot take, you know what I mean? But if you have any opinions about like the Tati situation, let me know down below because I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know your opinions on all of this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. I'm honestly just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you for letting me rant a little bit. I really appreciate it and letting me talk about all of this from my perspective. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!